Steve Doherty, the co-chair of the Progressive States Network and the former Senate Minority Leader in Montana and the current Fish and Wildlife Commissioner of Montana. Very important job.
Thank you. You know, all the time I spent in the Montana legislature trying to make sense out of the world, I think I took a crazy pill when I signed on to be chairman of the Fish, Wildlife, and Parks Commission, because the one thing that we care passionately and deeply about are our critters in Montana. It is my high honor and great privilege to introduce and to thank one of our honored guests today. He's an old friend, and I've been trying to think of something funny to say, because I know that there are going to be people here who can say very funny things about numerous policies, but I really can't. I've racked my brain. I've decided that 20 years ago, that when John was the fastest player on the softball team, I really shouldn't tell about that. But what I should tell you about is that I think John's election last year in Montana gave hope to people across this country. My cab driver, as I was coming up tonight, was a Muslim. He was an American citizen, but he knew the name John Tester when I told him I was from Montana. Now, that's impressive to me, and he also knew that John Tester worked for a living. And you should know that during the Easter break, when the Senate took off, John didn't head to the Bahamas. John wasn't on any particular talk shows. John went back home to the farm to try and seed. And like most things that happen in Montana, it didn't go well. The clutch went out of the tractor, and you know, we do need to get that photo blown up life-size at some point, but there's a great photo of John Tester, United States Senator, changing the clutch in his tractor so he can go out and seed. And that was that kind of work ethic, and that kind of dedication to the land, and that kind of dedication to a family. John and Charlotte Tester and their kids led John, just within the space of 10 years, from running for the state senate in Montana, and we thought he was a sacrificial candidate. It's a Republican district. I've never seen two people work harder. John and Charlotte drove the wheels off their cars. They knocked on more doors, they talked to more people, and they talked to people about the issues that matter, the bread and butter issues, the issues that make us do these kinds of public policy things. So he's moved on to Washington, D.C., but he still comes home. And home is always going to be in Montana for John Tester, and it's going to be on that farm about 20 miles west of Big Sandy on Sun Lane. And we thank you for your service as a state senator, president of the Montana Senate, when we took back control of the Senate 2 years ago, and for indeed giving us back the dignity that we need and have longed for in Montana since the days of Mike Mansfield. John Tester.